Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Rusty Wallace Kia on Callahan Drive. Folks, I have bought 4 Kias in a row, 4 Sorrentos, which I loved, and now a Telluride, which I really love. Never had a lick of trouble with any of them. They are great vehicles, and that's why I keep going back to Rusty Wallace Kia on Callahan Drive. Great vehicles at great prices with great people. Jake Bull and his team sell great vehicles, new and used, Kia and other models. Rusty Wallace Kia on Callahan Drive. Get down there and see them this week, especially tell my buddy James Gordon I said hello. All right, we've given our thoughts on expansion in general, then on whether Oklahoma or Texas is the right fit. We've hinted at what it could be for Tennessee, but let's just ask it. Is adding Oklahoma and Texas to the SEC good for Tennessee?
No. I mean, I don't think it's like a huge thing. I don't think it's a major issue, but I do think you've now fallen down the pecking order a little bit.
That qualifies as a major issue.
Well, but I think the one thing that can be good, and I agree with your scheduling proposal, but I think if you can find a way to get Alabama off your annual schedule, I think that can be a good thing for you. It might cost you in tradition, but listen, that's not helping you right now. That is a rough deal. And if you can get them off and turn pretty much a guaranteed 0 win every year into like a 60% chance
to go get Oklahoma
win.
instead?
Well, not necessarily Oklahoma, but somebody, and at least they're not Alabama. I mean, Tennessee has probably come closer to beating Oklahoma recently than they have beaten Alabama, and they've played them like twice. So it's like, I think that's the one positive that you might be able to, if you're talking about just purely good for Tennessee in terms of the program. That's the only positive I see.
I don't know. Tennessee and Alabama have not wanted to part in the past.
I don't think they will, but I think if there's a positive, that could be the only thing that comes out of it.
That would be the final straw for me. If you have, to me, this is a bad move for Tennessee, but if you've fallen to the point where, well, we're doing it for the money, and also we can run away from Alabama and tuck tail, then I'm going to hammer you on this show. I mean, I'm already going to start hammering them anyway because, let's face it, I view them now, they're a professional franchise. Mm-hmm. This is only about money. This is showing we'll do anything for a buck, not anything for a win. So you're a professional franchise. Your players are getting paid. I'm going to treat you that way. You better win. You're treated from now on. To me, you're the Boston Celtics. You're the New England Patriots. I want wins. And if you don't win, I'm going to say, "What'd you do with that money? Thought you were making more money. Where's the money?"
Well, your players are making money now too, so they get treated a little bit differently. I don't think there's anything in this that's positive for Tennessee. I think it knocks you down further on the pecking order. Between segments earlier, I think it might have been you, Dave, who said, "Okay, Tennessee's coaching ranking. Hey, Tennessee right now is the 7th best coaching job in the SEC. Okay, when this is done, you're the 9th best coaching job in the SEC. I just don't see where the positives are, and the money just to me isn't life-changing money for the Tennessee athletic program. What are you going to do with it? Bigger buyouts for the coaches you fire? Hey, we can really make them well set for life. Now, I just don't see where that amount of money, be it $3 million, be it $14 million, how does that change your football future? And now, forget a lot of other sports out there, but I think this is mostly 90% about football.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And you look at this, and you're talking Tennessee made $140 million in revenue last year during COVID, $140 million. And now you're talking about on the high end, they could add $14 million. So 1/10? You're doing this, you're pushing yourself further down into the toilet. You're down into the pipes now. You've been flushed. You're out to sea. You're doing this for 10% raise?
I'm amazed it has not been a more contentious issue.
I'm not wowed by this.
Maybe it was early on.
What have you done with that money you already made?
Well, hold on. That's the next segment.
Yeah. Maybe there was early on, but I'm amazed this has not been a more contentious issue. That more schools aren't saying, I don't know. Maybe not everybody's beating down the door like A&M, but more schools are,
All right, Josh, you mentioned this, I believe, earlier. We were talking off camera that you got a lot of schools here that are saying, well, we're going to suck longer, but that's okay. Just give us the money. I think that was you. That might have been Ryan.
Anyway. Absolutely. And you're going to get it. You're going to get more money. But Texas and Oklahoma are going to bring you more money. They're going to bring you more problems. I think those two have been put together in the past. More money, more problems, and Tennessee's going to have it because if it is about football, and it is in terms of the competition and what's going to happen there, you're getting that money, but so are your counterparts. So what advantage is there? None. So maybe it helps pay legal fees. Maybe it helps pay buyouts. But you're probably going to have more buyouts to pay because of this from a competitive standpoint.
You could give the money to the city to throw parades when you go 8-4, and you want to congratulate your coach for climbing the ladder. I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities.
Well, that's another thing. There's always, I've been hearing this. Well, if the SEC is this good, Tennessee can just go 9-3 and make the playoffs. The last time Tennessee went 9-3 in the regular season, 2004. So the idea of, well, we could get in that. No, you can't even do that. 2004 was the last time you were 9-3 in the regular season because, if we want to say 2007, you lost the SEC championship game, which would have been a play-in game because you would have 4 losses, and they're not taking 4 losses into a playoff. So 2003 would have been your last playoff team at 9-3. No, 10-2. That was a 10-2 team, and then lost to Auburn in the SEC title game. So that game would have made it, or that team probably would have made it. But that's it. So the idea that, well, we're kind of on the cusp. No, you were 8-4 under Butch Jones. You won your 9th game in the bowl games. So all of it just seems like false hope to me. It's like, well, it could be money for us. We'll
all this is happening with this NCAA cloud hanging over you. So how long does that continue, which nobody seems to know right now? But, I mean, a lot of big changes are happening, and you're kind of strapped in back here behind everybody else because, well, does this end in September, April of next year? When's it over? I mean, that's Tennessee's problem, obviously.
Yeah. Tennessee is 10-24 in their last 4 SEC seasons. 10-24, which on average I guess would make you 2-6. And now you're adding Oklahoma and Texas. Yeah. Good luck. We asked the question a couple weeks ago. Will Tennessee ever recover from this? And I've always said yes. It only takes one coach. And I said a couple of weeks ago when we asked that I no longer feel as confident about that. You add Oklahoma and Texas, I don't think you recover. You might, but I don't think you're going to recover long term and be what you were.
To what the fans expect.
Yeah. You're too far down the line. We showed you earlier those last 50 seasons. Now it's just a random number, but 50 seasons, you're number 8 out of 16. And Texas A&M is going to pass you in the next year or two, so you're going to be number 9 out of 16. And so the idea that you got to jump all those other teams to get back to championship level, I think you're done. But the good news is you're making more money. So
happy Sunday, everybody.
When we come back, Ryan Callahan joins us. We'll get his take on this whole thing as well. And we touched on it here a little bit, but how exactly has all the expanded money of the last 20 years helped Tennessee or Carolina or Missouri? Come on back, we'll discuss.